Verse 13. He says to Abram, "Know certainly your descendants will be strangers in a land that is not theirs, and will serve them, and they will afflict them for 400 years. What's that? Isn't that cool? That's them going into slavery in Egypt. This is amazing. God is telling Abram before it happens that they're going to be in slavery to Egypt. So that period of time from Abraham, and you go through the patriarchs, they don't end up in slavery in Egypt until Joseph dies. If you remember in Exodus, things are great in Egypt. You've got Joseph second in command, the Pharaoh, and basically Jews are multiplying like rabbits. They're just taking over. Things are going so well. And then it says Joseph dies, and then it says Pharaoh dies. A new Pharaoh comes up, and he's petrified of the Israelites because there's so many of them, and they're going to take over. Does this sound familiar? This is Hitler. This is anti-Semitism you see everywhere. It's like a perfect picture of it. And then what happens is, of course, God hears their affliction, sends Moses, they get delivered. This is what he's telling Abraham. He's telling Abraham right here before it ever even happens. He says, but for you, you're going to go to your fathers in peace. You're going to be buried at a good old age. In the fourth generation, return here, for the iniquity of the Amorites is not yet complete. Iniquity of the Amorites, he's talking about Gentiles. He's talking about the Gentile nations. So when we say God is so cruel, look what he did. He slaughtered all the Canaanites, blah, 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 all this stuff. He's telling you right here in these verses, their iniquity will one day be complete. And when it is, the nation of Israel will become my tool for their judgment. So when we're reading about Baal worship, and we're reading about the Philistines, and we're reading about the Assyrians and the Babylonians and all these civilizations, he's telling us here they're going to come to a point of completion. And during all this time, not only does he first send the Israelites in to conquer the land, but he sends prophets nonstop to tell all them to stop doing what they're doing. And they don't listen. Our God is an incredibly good and merciful God. It's incredible. We all know this. People who live the way they do in this culture know this, right? But they choose to pick on his character instead of looking at their own.